I live in a low-income housing environment that goes by the government name of Section 8. Me and a group of my allies control certain areas of this section in order to run our illegitimate business. We possess unregistered firearms, stolen vehicles, mind-altering inhibitors, and only use cash for financial purchases. If anyone would like to settle unfinished altercations, I will be more than happy to release my address. I would like to warn you, I am a very dangerous person, and I regularly disobey the law.
So I made a video about autogynephilia that I'm not sure if I'm going to release or not, because a lot of it was just me smoking and then complaining about a concept that I forgot 3 other concepts that I wanted to explore while talking about. And so I don't like how many times I ended up repeating myself in that video. I've been really lonely for a couple weeks now. When I was in the hospital, it wasn't too bad because I could, I could talk with the people that I met in the hospital, but, since getting the new home and going back home, I've had a lot of gaps here and there. I'm not super lonely per se. If anything, this is one of the least lonely time periods I've actually had in a while. But it does feel like I'm kind of bored, and a lot of the things that I used to easily fill my time with, I find myself cut off from now. And there are activities that I used to associate with those things I'm not letting myself do, that don't feel as gratifying to do now. And so, I find myself flipping through things that I want to do during the day. I've been playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. That's been fun. I replayed Crash Bandicoot 3 for the millionth time, but I've been playing the second game, and that's fun. I watched Squid Game. I've been watching Hunter x Hunter. It's not like I haven't been doing anything, but there's so much time in a day. There's a couple video games I've tried to play, but nothing's really grabbed my attention in a super big way. I might play Fall Guys or something while listening to a podcast, but it's Fall Guys isn't even really that fun if you're not high or something, and I don't do drugs, so not anymore, so that's not really an option. So it's I have other video games here. It's just, if I don't want to play Crash, there's other stuff I can play. It doesn't really interest me that much. But the point isn't to do something because it interests you. The point is to do something because it fills time, right? I don't feel starved for social interaction per se, but I made that video about a topic I didn't even really care about, because it felt like if I produce this, I can send out a signal of some sort, and that signal will bring feedback, to my antenna. You receive feedback, and it made me think about how I've entirely cut myself off from Discord. I've cut myself off from Element as well, Matrix. I don't want to talk to any of my friends anymore. And there's a couple reasons why. I came to the realization, after one friend of mine brought up to me, I was talking about issues of dissociation and identity, and this desire to like not be seen or not be recognized, right? And they were like, well, the fact that you have friends at all and you're willing to be vulnerable with me in this manner means that you want to be recognized. You're just sort of memeing yourself into this position, right? And it made me realize, like, I don't think that's entirely true, because a manifestation of oneself that ekes out certain nuggets of vulnerability or genuinity is not necessarily the same as like being recognized for the person you literally are. It was a poignant thing, and I thought, well, I guess I'm better off alone then, if this is how things are. And then I thought about another friend of mine who says that just notification signals from that client have traumatized them, so they kind of go into fight or flight mode, and they can't really respond to the things I say. And it's like, well, why do you even want to be my friend if you never want to talk to me? Do you know why if I've traumatized you so much, like, why the fuck are you talking to me? Like, that's just painful. I don't want that in my life. So, this is what I do. I go, and I say fuck it. I don't need any of this. I don't need to be a part of any of this. And there's that desire to get some feedback on the things that I have to say. To put something out in the world and then to know that someone is going to hear it. But I think part of my social awkwardness, part of why I am afraid to talk to other people, or at least was afraid in the past, and now I just find it to be, kind of a fruitless endeavor, is because I'm good at talking, but I'm not so good at hearing. And I've done all of these techniques to teach me how to be a better listener. And it's even to the point where pretty much everybody says that I'm a very good listener. But I can engage with the person. I can show a lot of engagement. But in my own subjective experience, it doesn't feel like I'm really hearing them. It feels more like I'm just, waiting for my turn. So I don't like that. And it's like, if I'm going to have this narcissistic approach to socializing, then why don't I just cut myself off entirely? Like, if I'm in love with my reflection, why don't I just only have the reflection? I'm being a little hyperbolic with these descriptions, but I think they're apt nonetheless, I would rather be bored and alone than be recognized another day, even if it's for the mask being put on. I would rather be bored and alone than entertain the notion that I can be friends with people who feel traumatized by me, even if that's what they want. It's like these two things in the same day, they made me realize, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta get the fuck away from everybody. I don't want to be around anybody. Get me away, So I make this video, and I anticipate the little hit of dopamine that I would get from being heard by someone, but then I rewatch it a couple times, and then I just have to think to myself, this isn't up to my standards. This is not a video I would normally release. Why did I make this? And the answer's right in front of me. It's because today wasn't a very eventful day, and I wanted something to stand out. Typically, I would have been narrating my day to one of my friends by now, if that's how I felt. I would have been looking for some ideas from one of them. But I'm back to a place I was at years ago where there's no friends to speak of. And now that I'm on antidepressants, it's this strange feeling like I'm unaffected by it. You know, every other time I've tried to completely cut myself off in recent memory, there was like some jet lag, and then like I just felt like viscerally uncomfortable at the idea, and it's like, oh, I have to go back, almost like an addiction of sorts. I mean, people compare ending an addiction to like a breakup or the loss of someone you once knew and held dearly. And I've, frequently described my relationship to like chat messaging apps as an addiction of sorts, but it's also for the longest time been my only source of social interaction. And so, talking to other people is typically an addiction that is seen to be only positive by society. If you don't do enough introspection, usually people will say, well, okay, take some time for yourself, but that's just about the extent of it. I describe it that way because there seems to be this yearning that I have for solitude. And then when I'll interact with these people, I'll feel alone. And even when I'm not feeling alone, I end up thinking, well, it really was quite better when I was by myself. But then I'm by myself. And the world isn't that much different. It's just more peaceful. And I have to think, maybe that's all right. I will always be tied to people in some fashion or to some extent. I believe these YouTube channels are my window into the lives of others. But that's about the extent of it. It makes me think about that quote from 1984, perhaps man did not want to be loved so much as to be understood. I seek and receive understanding from the work that I do. And when I found myself understood in others, it's all of the love in the world that they could give me ends up not meaning so much. It doesn't matter if I'm dissociated and disconnected from their love, or whether I experience it wholly, grasped with the hands of someone entirely there in the moment, one with it, real with it. And none of that matters. You can hate me if you want to, but if you understand me while doing so, then I am accomplished in my ultimate mission. I can take peace in that from atop the balcony of whatever apartment you may find me nesting in now, looking down on the small little creatures bustling below me from atop that balcony, I can feel as though I'm an island of sorts. I'm in the sky with no one to disturb me. I've been spending a lot of time alone. My tone may be concerning, but that's merely because I'm attempting to be quiet while recording this. I don't feel a hint of loneliness. That's the weird thing. The people say loneliness isn't really about whether or not you occupy your time with people. They say it's about whether or not you occupy your time with things that are fulfilling. And that when you do that, you manage to circumvent whatever feeling of loneliness you had. But it seems that I've circumvented loneliness even when I am doing things that are boring or not doing anything at all. I'm compelled to send out that signal to be found by someone, not because it is the one connection that I maintain with me and the outside world, but because it is but another thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's comfy. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like
Empty vacant lot.
This is not a vacant lot. This is a place for Little League. I like how you just match my energy perfectly sometimes. Like, that thing that I do where I just say random non sequiturs that, like, are very clearly not true, I've noticed that you start doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always done that. It's just I feel more comfortable to do that now.
Yeah.
But I've been around you for a little while.
Whew.
Careful.
I'm drunk, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Okay. But yeah.
And I like to try and make a joke off of your random non sequiturs too. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
When it lands.
Yes. They can't all be home runs, much like the balls that are hit in this very lot.
Mm-hmm. This vacant lot.
Is that a I'm gonna fuck you.
Whenever I see a baseball cage, I just want to climb it.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I want to.
They're so climbable. They're so submissive and climbable.
I want to climb. I want to climb it in the same sense that those tweakers on Capitol Hill climbed the wall on January 6th.
Sure.
This event that I do not in any way support or endorse. Just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have to say that every time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case they're listening in.
Just in case
the Canadian Border Patrol is listening in.
Just in case Justin Trudeau himself is listening in.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau is very concerned about January 6th for some reason.
He's very concerned about OsakaSyndrome. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
I keep wanting to buy you boots every time I look at those shoes. Every time I look at those shoes, I'm like, what are those?
They're Vans. They're cool. These are what the cool kids are wearing these days.
Not in the fucking snow.
I only have one shoes. I only have two shoes.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Look at these. These are Timbs. These are steel-toed Timbs Pro. Allergic to electric shock and a bunch of other shit that I'm way too shit-faced to say.
Oh yeah.
But
and on top of that, they look pretty cool.
they look fucking sick. That's true. That's so true, babe. But like, that's what you should be wearing. I get worried about you every time we go out.
Yeah.
Because
You'll have to get me some.
I will get you some.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I get worried about you every time we go out because of the shoes you wear. I'm like,
I need some cute little booties.
Yes. I'm like, is she freezing right now? Like, is she okay? Like, yeah.
I'm sort of okay.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, my feet have not gotten wet yet, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a moment where I've been like,
that's amazing.
damn, I wish I wasn't wearing these shoes.
How do you do that?
I'm Canadian walking.
I still don't know what that is.
It's just very strategic steps to avoid either falling over or getting wet.
Yeah.
Trained over years and years and years of experience.
I see. My hands are starting to freeze. I'm gonna stop the recording.
But you know, the toughest thing is to love somebody who has done something mean to you. Especially when that somebody has been yourself. Have you ever done anything mean to yourself? Well, it's very important to look inside yourself and find that loving part of you. That's the part that you must take good care of and never be mean to. Because that's the part of you that allows you to love your neighbor. And your neighbor is anyone you happen to be with at any time of your life. Respecting and loving your neighbor can give everybody a good feeling.